Are you serious? Really good coffee. And that coffee came out of Hawaii. Now, that was good coffee. Let me just say thank you so much for sending that. Bless you. NATO allies are coming to grips, folks, that Russia is fighting a new war called a hybrid warfare, or the little green men. Let me tell you what I mean. And NATO need to understand something. All is fair in love and war, and the tactics that groups like ISIS use, which is terror war using terror, striking fear among the people. That's not the type of war that Russia fights. They fight a stealth war. What they call a hybrid warfare. NATO allies are scrambling to protect vulnerable Baltic partners from a threat of a hybrid warfare, as Russian tactics that officials and experts say is based on deception rather than formal declaration of war. I got news for NATO. The days of, we're not having the red coats and the blue coats standing in attention shooting at each other. I don't know what they think they're thinking, but Putin will do what Putin's got to do. I mean, he's boot scooting Putin. Are you serious? And he'll tell you he'll have 10,000 Russian soldiers with their patches tore off, little green men running around in Ukraine, but he'll never confirm to you that those are his men. And that's part of the reason that some folks are upset even in Russia. And that's part of the reason why opposition leader Boris Nemtsov was so upset, is that Putin would not acknowledge that he was funding the war in eastern Ukraine, that it was Russia who actually went in and annexed Crimea, sending in the little green men. It was Russian tanks that are right now rolling through eastern Ukraine. It's Russian rockets that are being launched there. It's Russian rifles and ammunition being used. And there's actually Russian soldiers dying in Ukraine, coming back in body bags, being brought home to their families. But Putin has yet to ever confirm he's there, because that is his strategy. And NATO, if NATO wants to combat that, crying about it is not going to help anybody. But it's, what is your plan? Do you think Russia is actually trying to restore the old Soviet Union? Or is Russia actually fulfilling Bible prophecy in Ezekiel 38 by the reestablishment of what is really in the Bible known as the Magog territory? Well, how they do it is can't be your problem. It's if they're doing it. And what is your plan? Well, they endured decades. You see, Russia's President Vladimir Putin used an anonymous little green men to slice Crimea away from the Ukraine last year. Exactly. And many of the EU members and the NATO members are afraid he's about to do the same thing to those three small Baltic nations. So they endured decades of Soviet occupation after the Red Army rolled in during World War II. While a full-scale invasion is improbable now, hybrid meddling and destabilization tactics to create chaos designed to test NATO's commitment to whether or not they're going to defend their allies is what Putin's going to do. He's going to test it. He's going to send in the little green men and fund a uprising, create some chaos, deny he's doing it, and see if NATO will do anything about it. And so, folks, President Barack Obama is really caught like a deer in the headlights. I mean, he didn't see Edward Snowden coming. He couldn't get him back from Russia. He got outmaneuvered. He literally got crushed when it relates to saying that Assad must go in Syria. But it was Russia and Iran that said, oh, no, he's going nowhere. The whole country might be blown apart, and the city of Damascus might be a ruinous heap, but Assad is still, and his little group are going to be saved. He couldn't get Snowden back. He's been crippled by the release of information from Snowden. He couldn't do anything about Crimea. He can't do anything about eastern Ukraine. And then he couldn't stop. He put all his eggs in one basket, and that was to create a two-state solution in Israel and to do everything in his power to stop Benjamin Netanyahu, and he couldn't do that. Netanyahu walked right into Washington, stood in front of Congress, won the hearts of the American people, went home and won the hearts of the Israeli people by declaring security. and defending the homeland. So again, Obama finds himself caught in this quandary, being outfoxed and outmaneuvered, really, seriously, folks, by Russia's President Vladimir Putin. Now, what does this mean? Are we about on the brink of World War III? Remember, Russia's ally is Iran, and America's sitting at the table with Iran. But Israel's saying, don't you dare do a deal with Iran. As a matter of fact, I'm getting just now breaking news that the framework for the Iranian deal is just now leaking. And I think it's Obama's way to take the glory away from Netanyahu in his great victory. So let me go find out what's in that document. I'll be right back with more current world events and how they relate to Bible prophecy. If you step back and look at the big picture, the hook is being put in the jaw. The hook is being put in the jaw. The bear is being drawn in. And it's more than just the NATO countries or the Baltic countries in Europe. It's Israel too. Everybody's got their eyes on Jerusalem. Are you saved? We're in a 4 blood moon tetrad. And time is running out.